Last night, George Springer and Chris Carter provided the long ball to help lift Houston to a win over the Rangers. Tonight, Dallas Keuchel and HOU Darvish battle it out on the mound as the Astros go for the sweep. Astros baseball starts right now on Comcast Sportsnet. Live from Globe Life Park in Arlington, Texas, CSN Houston brings you Houston Astros baseball. Tonight it's the finale of the road trip, and the Astros go for a 3-game sweep of the Texas Rangers. Good evening, everybody, on a very hot night here in Arlington. Bill Brown and Alan Ashby. Julia Morales joins us in a few minutes to see if the Astros can do something they've only done once, sweep a 3-game series from the Rangers, and this is the 100th game between the two, Ash.
With last night's win, Brownie, it's the first time since 2006 the Astros have even won a series here. So, yeah, this is rare territory.
And HOU Darvish, the all-star pitcher for the Rangers, will be on the mound against a man who could be another all-star, Dallas Keuchel.
Well, you're talking about a couple of 8-game winners right now. Darvish only 4 losses. Dallas Keuchel's ERA above the 3 mark, but that's primarily because of the last 3 starts. He's been roughed up just a bit, as HOU Darvish is 5th in the league in ERA. But Dallas Keuchel just keeps going out, giving the team very good starts. That work down around the knees is the key. He leads in ground ball outs around the major leagues. Dallas Keuchel, a guy in my estimation very deserving of being on the all-star team. HOU Darvish is on the all-star squad, 3rd time now in his 3rd season in the major leagues. HOU Darvish last year led the league in strikeouts at 277, least hits per 9 innings. HOU Darvish, those numbers are a little off this year, but he's still very good, and again 5th in ERA in the American League.
Coming up from Arlington, Dallas Keuchel's last start before the all-star assignments are handed out as far as that final vote. George Springer has been there with home run support in this series. Chris Carter hit 2 last night. The Astros meet the Rangers next. Jack in the Box. Head to Jack in the Box for the new Jalapeno Ranch or BBQ Ultimate Cheeseburgers at participating restaurants. And by AT&T UVerse TV. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT. Mobilizing your world. It is a scorcher here at Globe Life Park. It seems even warmer than the last couple of nights because there are no clouds above as the Rangers take the field. And we go down on the field to Julia Morales.
Thank you very much, Brownie. When the Astros arrived in Arlington, they were riding a 7-game losing streak. That is in the past now. Bo Porter really happy with the way they snapped that, swinging the bats in the last 2 games. They jumped out early on the Rangers, and then they continued to tack on runs. It hasn't been just one guy either. The entire team contributing. The numbers are just crazy for these last 2 games, scoring 20 runs in those 2 wins. The team hitting .367. Runners in scoring position has been good too with 5 homers. And Bo Porter said that it's good to face a tough pitcher like you, Darvish. When you have all that confidence, when you're riding high, it can take you a long way. Back up to you.
A good start toward a sweep. Inside the Lines is brought to you by Scotch Blue Painter's Tape. Scotch Blue, see what you can do. We had a ruling last night that we had not heard before. Here it is. Chris Jimenez, the catcher, coming up with a pitch out of the dirt for strike 3. But Robbie Grossman is able to beat his throw to first base because he was preoccupied with Jose Altuve at second base. And it was not ruled an error. It was ruled slow play.
I want to know who leads the league in slow play right now.
That was one of the oddities of last night's game. Bo Porter, Julia Morales exchanging pleasantries before the first pitch of this game. We have some ceremonial things happening on the field right now.
Busted. I can't get away with anything around here.
What did you try to get away with?
Well, we were just dancing to the music.
All right. That's allowed.
A little pregame warm-up dance.
Well, they're getting some people off the field. The mascot Ranger is shepherding them off the playing field. Meanwhile, while we have a moment, here's the Astros lineup. It's brought to you by Jack in the Box. Jose Altuve, surprise, is leading off at second base. It's Robbie Grossman in right field, George Springer in center, John Singleton at first base. The number 5 hitter is third baseman Matt Dominguez. He's followed by DH Chris Carter, catcher Carlos Corporon, left fielder Enrique Hernandez, and shortstop Marwin Gonzalez.
HOU Darvish on the hill for the Texas Rangers. He is, as we just mentioned, a 3-time All-Star. 4-1 lifetime in 7 starts against the Astros, 2.29 the ERA. But then look at that one. 133 the batting average against. The Astros have had, shall we say, a tough time getting the wood to the ball, the pitches of HOU Darvish.
Darvish coming out after win number 9 of the season has not been pitching as well the last 4 starts. Jose Altuve has had a nice series so far with back-to-back 2-hit games. 341, 2 homers, 27 runs batted in for the league batting leader. Goes for the first pitch and pops it up foul. Adam Rosales, the first baseman, and Rougned Odor, the second sacker, give chase, as well as the right fielder Jake Smolinski. And out of play for Jose Altuve, and things have gone so well for him. 341 average, 380 on base average, 126 hits, leads the league, 41 steals, leads the league, whistling line drives all over the ballpark. That's a strike, and quickly it's 0-2 for HOU Darvish.
Kind of tempting the infielders for the Texas Rangers last night. A couple of line drives that were very close to being caught. One off the glove of Adrian Beltre down at third base. So looks like Altuve can do it any way he chooses.
Temperature 95 degrees at game time. Altuve puts that one out of play. And you saw those numbers that Darvish has against the Astros. That tiny batting average Houston has managed against him. He has had some tremendous performances, including going within 1 out of a perfect game. That was April 2nd, 2013 in Houston. He won that game 7-0. Perfect through 8 2/3 until a Marwin Gonzalez hit. Altuve looks at it. It's 1-2.
A ball that came right back to the mound, right through the legs of Darvish into center field. Certainly sharply hit and tough to make the play on, but HOU Darvish had only himself to blame at that point.
This is his second outing this year against the Astros. 8 innings of 1-hit shutout ball in the first here, and a no decision. Altuve looks at it. It's 2-2. Bill Miller, the crew chief, is the home plate umpire. So Darvish 3 times has gone 8 innings or more against the Astros and allowed 1 hit or less. Altuve chases it upstairs, and he's down on strikes on a foul tip.
This is just one of the reasons Darvish strikes out so many. And again, 277 last year to lead the league. Fastball at 95, coming right out here, throwing hard in the first inning. Defensively for Texas, Shin-Soo Choo in left field. It'll be Dan Robertson in center, and Jake Smolinski. Those are some homegrown names right there in the outfield. Infield, Adrian Beltre, Elvis Andrus on the left. On the right, Rougned Odor and Adam Rosales at first base, and Chris Jimenez back behind the plate.
There's Choo shading his eyes. He's been DHing, and so this is his first start in left field in this 3-game series. Robbie Grossman takes it for ball 1. Robbie at 153 has 2 homers, 11 runs batted in. 0 for his last 28. And he just returned from AAA Oklahoma City to start in last night's game. He was hitless, of course, in that one. He drew a walk and scored a run after a strikeout. 1 ball, 1 strike. Robbie has torn up the Pacific Coast League, though, this year. In a very weird season for him. 337 at AAA with a 417 on base average. He fights that one off, and it's a 1 ball, 2 strike count.
I don't know how you explain those numbers. Yes, AAA is not as high a level of baseball, obviously, as the big leagues, but such a discrepancy is just really hard to come by any kind of reasonable answer.
Darvish will turn 28 in mid-August. He's from Osaka, Japan. That one's fouled back, and there have been several outstanding Japanese-born pitchers who really did well in Major League Baseball. He could wind up being the best when all is said and done, and that is, of course, to be determined well down the line. So far, he's won 37 Major League games. He's lost 22 with a 3.19 ERA.
Rangers spent a lot of money to bring him aboard, but he has been worth every bit of it.
Breaking pitch in. Let's look at the list of current Japanese-born pitchers. Iwakuma, Kuroda, Suzaka. Tanaka just went on the disabled list today after a sizzling first half. Kazawa and Uehara.
It's a good list. Uehara as good as anybody in relief last year.
Grossman drives it to center field, way back. Daniel Robertson way back, and that is in for extra bases, bouncing high and staying in play for a double for Robbie Grossman. How to break out of an 0 for 28. Rip one off you, Darvish.
That's driving the baseball and nice, and he got some pitches to hit in that series. He fouled off a couple in a pretty good zone to handle, but that fastball up out over the plate, and Robertson was playing fairly shallow and toward left center field. He just was too shallow to get back on this ball.
Robbie Grossman hits one a long way for double number 5 of the season, and he really battled in that at bat, taking the count to 2-2. Now he's aboard for George Springer. Springer hit a long home run to center field in last night's game. George takes a look at it. It's strike 1.
Yeah, when you talk home runs by George Springer, generally speaking, they are bombs, and this was one of them. Back footing it and drives it out by a wide margin to center.
Kickoff play at second base. Odor takes the throw from Darvish. So Springer's 2 for 9 in this series, 174 on this road trip. He already has franchise rookie records for homers and runs batted in prior to the All-Star break. With the 18 bombs, 3 away from Lance Berkman's 21 in his rookie season of 2000. And that was for the full season. Lance, by the way, was at our hotel today in town with his family. 1 ball, 1 strike. Springer's hit 300 against this Ranger club this year. With 2 homers, he's driven in 5. Tap to shortstop, and there's Andrus getting the speedy Springer. 2 outs. Grossman to third base for John Singleton.
George Springer makes this very close. Just an extra half beat there at shortstop, and Springer almost beats it.
He goes back to the dugout, and it's Singleton trying to drive in this first run of the game. The Astros were often winging last night on a 33-pitch first inning by starter Phil Irwin of the Rangers. They got two. Singleton a part of that. He had an RBI single and later added a double and a walk. 198, 6 homers, 21 runs batted in with 10 in the last 10 days in the RBI department. That's right there for strike one at 95. Singleton's had a big series, going 5 for 8 with a homer, driving in 5. John hit a home run in Anaheim on the first leg of this road trip in front of family and friends. That one goes foul. He had a good rip at it. No balls, 2 strikes. Really has a good looking swing. With that swing plane. Covers the plate very well.
There is no question that he's going to hit for power. And the area that you probably look at is really hit for batting average. He and George Springer work to be done in making sure they make more steady, solid contact. But each guy very, very dangerous already.
It's 1-2. This is no day at the beach for a rookie facing HOU Darvish with all the pitches he can offer.
Got a variety of breaking balls, splitter, and again that fastball that he can run up there mid-90s and then some.
Singleton tried to hold up his swing. He's called for going around by Bill Miller and strikes out to end the Astros first with no runs. 1 hit, a runner stranded at third, no score in this one. He's up at the top of the stadium, and the youngster will welcome that. That's a beautiful thing, isn't it? All right, Texas Rangers lineup now for Ron Washington. Left fielder Shin-Soo Choo. Shortstop Elvis Andrus. DH Alex Rios. Third baseman Adrian Beltre. Right fielder Jake Smolinski. Catcher Chris Jimenez. Second baseman Rougned Odor. First baseman Adam Rosales. Center fielder Daniel Robertson.
Electrifying here at the ballpark. Dallas Keuchel on the hill for Houston. At home just 2-3 and a 3.30 ERA, but on the road quite a bit better, at least in terms of success. 6-2, that 289 earning.
And facing the lefty hitting Shin-Soo Choo to lead it off. And the South Korean looks at ball one. With a 250 average, he has 9 homers, 31 runs batted in. Good on base average of 373. He's known for that. He checked the swing and took the pitch for ball 2. It's 2 balls, no strikes for Dallas Keuchel.
A pitch right where Dallas wants to be, but maybe just a half-inch up.
That's in for strike 1. It's 2-1. Choo has 2 hits in this series. A couple of walks, and he was hit by a pitch. He's a resourceful guy in terms of working his way on base. Keuchel throws it in, and it's a 2-ball, 2-strike count. You talked about his terrific record on the road, 6-2 with a 2.89 ERA. He has shut out the Texas Rangers in one of his complete game offerings. That was in Houston this year. But he has been fantastic on the road. And in fact, the wins above replacement statistic we talk about rather infrequently. He is ranked 10th among major league pitchers in WAR. It's up the middle, but the shift is on. Marwin Gonzalez takes care of out number 1.
Back on Dallas Keuchel. That last start, he got roughed up, 5 innings, allowed 13 hits and 5 runs. And the defensive shift takes care of business right here to start things in the first inning. But Dallas has had a tough time on the last 3 starts. Nice time to turn things around.
He has been a ground ball machine this year, more than any other pitcher in the majors. Elvis Andrus stepping up with a 269 average, 2 homers, 22 runs batted in, has 4 career hits against Keuchel. Keuchel 1-2 lifetime against the Rangers with a 3.66 ERA and 6 starts. But pitching that gem against them in Houston May 13th, a 7-hit shutout. And Dallas has gone the distance 3 times this season to tie for the league lead.
And not to harp on it, but the last 3 starts, 18 innings, 13 earned runs in that span, and that's pushed the ERA almost a full run upward.
It's a 1-1 count. He has struggled in those games last time out, giving up 13 hits in 5 innings and 5 runs to the Angels. Andrus, who has that bunting ability, steps up on it. It's a strike.
The Angels that you mentioned, that really a hot ball club, and especially at home, the Astros ran into a buzzsaw in that series, and they were swinging the bats great. I think it was just a team that was red hot.
They've now won 9 straight home series to tie a club record. That's upstairs, and the Angels come in here next, starting tomorrow night. 2 balls, 2 strikes. This is Dallas Keuchel's final start before the All-Star break. Breaking pitch, got him. 2 outs.
Looked like Elvis Andrus tried to plead foul tip right there. Just was not the case, and Carlos Corcoran unable to come up with it cleanly. Almost brought that into play. Defensively for the Astros tonight, Enrique Kike Hernandez in left field, George Springer in center, and Robbie Grossman in right. On the infield left side, Matt Dominguez and Marwin Gonzalez. On the right, it's Jose Altuve and John Singleton. Carlos Corcoran getting another start behind the plate.
Alex Rios is the batter. He's DHing tonight, taking strike 1. Rios is 8th in the league in hits with 108. 304 average, 4 homers, 39 driven in, 3 for 9 with an RBI in this series. Looking at ball 1. Dallas Keuchel made his major league debut in this ballpark June 17th, 2012, starting a game for the injured Bud Norris. And he did well, 5 innings, 1 run.
Boy, that is an ideal pitch. Talk to your pitching coach. Make sure you work the inside edge. Do it down and up, and boy, you can see where that pitch is, right where Corpy wanted it.
That bounces for ball 3. Now 3-1 to Rios with Beltre on deck. It's grounded out, a fair ball past Matt Dominguez into the left field corner. Rios heads for second base. Hernandez playing a carom, and it's a 2-out double, the 19th of the year for Alex Rios.
When you're pitching to good hitters, you need the tough pitches to be called on your side. Otherwise, it sets up opportunities. Pitch up right there for Rios, and he was able to put the barrel on it.
Now he's in scoring position for Adrian Beltre. Beltre is pushing for the batting title himself, second to Jose Altuve at 333, has a 911 OPS. That's in the top 10. That is strike 1 to Beltre. Adrian 3 for 9 in this series. He hit a homer off Jared Cozart Monday night in the opener. He's on a 12-game hitting streak right now. Lays off there, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. This Ranger club, and Beltre's a big part of what they've done offensively. He's having a fine season, but does not have a lot of company in that regard. They've scored 372 runs. That's their fewest through 90 games since 1988. It's a line shot into right field, charged by Robbie Grossman. Here's the go-ahead for Rios, and the throw's cut off by Singleton. The run scores. They've got a rundown going on Beltre. Singleton will just tag him out. And Corcoran kind of scuffing at the ground with his foot, as if maybe with that body language to think that they could have had Rios at home plate had that not been cut off. It's 1-0 Texas. Altuve on the left. Full season numbers in 2013, 283 average. This year 341. Last year a 316 on base percentage for the whole season. 380 so far this year. He stole 35 bases a year ago. Already has 41 with 85 strikeouts for all of last year. He has 26 so far this season. First Venezuelan-born player with 20 doubles and 40 steals since Bobby Abreu in 04. Another product of the Astros system.
I wonder if Altuve is going to play till he's 40. Who knows what for Bobby Abreu?
Yeah, he could. Matt Dominguez leads it off. He's on a 5-game hitting streak. There is strike one for Darvish. Dominguez has hit 3 home runs off Darvish in 14 at bats. 238 for the season, 11 homers, 39 driven in. Darvish missing, goes to a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Darvish was doing some work in the outfield during batting practice last night, and he was hit in the head by a fly ball. Dominguez looks at it. It's called a strike. That makes it 1-2. During his 5-game hitting streak, Matt's 7 for 22. Darvish is leading the league in strikeouts per 9 innings, averaging 11.03 strikeouts per 9. Batting average against him this year, .224. Right back to him. 1 down. And Chris Carter will follow.
Time now for the AT&T Rewind, and we look back to Chris Carter's night last night. A big one with the 2 bombs. The first one, a monster blast to left field, up and over the seats in that lower deck. And the second one, he goes center field. He tries to match what his teammate George Springer had done. Didn't get it out by much, but it counted just the same.
Carter 0 for 11 lifetime against Darvish. Takes that one, and it's strike one at 94. Chris, 194 hitter with 17 homers, has 37 runs batted in. Last 4 games, he's gone deep 4 times. He looks at that one for a 1-ball, 1 strikeout. On this road trip, Chris has hit .350 with 4 homers, 7 runs batted in. Adam Hamari, the first base umpire, got a late appeal call. Breaking pitch is ball 2 for Chris Carter. Yu Darvish was a first-round pick of his Japanese team, and then he came here with a posting fee of $51 million and signed a 6-year, $60 million deal personally on top of that posting fee to join the Rangers. In the air, and the right fielder comes over, Smolinski, and had to run that a long way into foul territory for out number 2.
That's a nice play when you've got that towering pop-up like fly ball. You're staring straight up into the sky while you're approaching at full speed that wall down the right field side, and that had to challenge Smolinski. Find out how earnest a guy is in going after the baseball with that type of play.
He has the most strikeouts in the first 4 years of his career. More than Dwight Gooden. Well, through 77 career starts, what you're looking at is a little bit different than what I was reading off the sheet. There's a strike. Corcoran takes strike 1. Through 77 starts, not even Gooden or any of those other guys on that list had struck out 632 the way Darvish has done.
It's rather impressive. I got to face Doc Gooden, and boy, he was a strikeout ready to happen.
It's a 1-ball, 1 strike count. Wasn't he a sensation?
Right over the top, that great fastball, and then throw the curveball from the very same slot.
Corcoran smacks one toward the right field corner. He really got into this one. That one bangs off the wall below the 349 side. Here's Smolinski's throw into second, and he beats it. Throw might have hit him. Corcoran in with a 2-out double.
Not sure why Elvis Andrus chose to come on the infield side of that baseline. Carlos Corcoran chose that same angle from which to slide, and the two collided. Carlos goes down, gets it, and almost gets it out of here. Smolinski has made a couple of nice plays here in the inning. As you can see, Elvis Andrus choosing to stay back either in or just on the infield side of that baseline rather than going on the outfield side to make the play.
He was caught out of position. Now 2 doubles for Houston, and Kike Hernandez will try to drive in Corp. He just got double number 4 of the year. It's a 4-game hitting streak now for Carlos. Kike at 346 has a homer. He's driven in 3. This was in the air to left field. Going back on a chew, and he looks a little dazed. That ball bangs off the wall. Corcoran coming around third, coming to the plate. Here's Hernandez heading for third, and it's a 1-1 game. That one almost got out. Hernandez winds up with an RBI triple. That's his first triple now, and he has now hit for the cycle as a major leaguer. That's his 4th run batted in.
Very impressive, and Kike got to third base well before Carlos Corcoran got to home plate. Now Carlos was holding up on this fly ball. For what reason, I can't imagine with 2 outs. But yeah, Carlos got some splaining to do back in the dugout. Yes, he scores, but hard to figure out why he is just now scoring on this triple. And again, 2 outs, that's the key factor. You go immediately on contact.
2 very well hit balls here off Darvish. And the Astros on the scoreboard. Marwin Gonzalez batting. He looks at a strike. 282 for Marwin, 4 homers, 11 runs batted in. He's 3 for 8, and he's driven in 4 in this series. Last 10 games, a 367 hitter. Last night he had 2 more hits and an RBI, and had a 3-run triple in the second inning Monday night. This one gets by Jimenez, and here's Hernandez coming in with the go-ahead run, 2-1. Jimenez, who had a rough time behind the plate last night, has been catching Darvish. But Darvish can be very difficult for a catcher. Now the Astros have the lead.
When you've got Darvish on the mound, anybody for that matter, behind the plate, you're trying to make sure you block everything in sight. And then when you've got a man on third base, even more so. You could see that Jimenez never quite got down. Might have been a cut fastball, and that makes it more difficult. But boy, that's a challenge a catcher wants to take on.
That one's another down and in pitch in the dirt. 2 balls and a strike. Marlins 2 for 6 lifetime against Darvish. Broke up that perfect game bid in Houston that we talked about April 2nd, 2013, with 2 outs in the 9th inning. They hit right between his legs into center field. This one's rolled foul. Of course, Kenny Rogers pitched a perfect game here for the Rangers years ago. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I think Shin-Soo Choo found left field to be a bit challenging this time of the evening.
Well, from what we have been told, he's had a difficult time in left field this year. And the sun is sometimes tough this time of night. That's a strikeout. That's number 3, but the Astros grab the lead with 2 runs scoring on 2 hits. Vote Keuchel until 3 o'clock tomorrow. 2-1 Houston.
Over the Rangers, and earlier this season we heard a lot about how Scott Feldman was the leader of this starting pitching staff this season, and he was earlier on, but hey, he's not the only guy that's leading this staff right now. Brad Peacock telling me that he looks up to the guy on the mound right now. That's Dallas Keuchel, of how he composes himself, that presence on the mound that he has, and just the confidence that he pitches with each time he goes out there. He's really become that leader, more of a leadership role for this team, guys.
And now he has a 2-1 lead. Hoping to make this just an outstanding final start before the All-Star break. Shooting for win number 9 of the year. And the leadoff man here is Jake Smolinski. Smolinski is 2 for 6. And there's strike 1. And picked up his first 2 major league hits, as he got the start last night in left field and drove in a run with a double in one of those. Chasing there, it's no balls, 2 strikes to Smolinski. With all the injuries the Rangers have had, they've taken a look at an awful lot of people. Smolinski joined them as a minor league free agent last November. He'd been with Washington and Miami. Smacks this one to left field. In for a hit. On the 0-2 offering, he liked it, and he's aboard for Jimenez. Now the guy called quote of the day from Dallas Keuchel. The two most important starts of the year are before the All-Star break and the last start of the year. Last year I pitched here and was going real well. Hit a brick wall in the 5th and it left a sour taste in my mouth at the end of last year.
Yeah, I think a lot of guys would say the most important starts of the year or start of the year is the one you're working on tonight, because every one you just keep moving along with it. And but obviously for Dallas those meant something.
Jimenez with a hit into right field. And the Rangers come right back with back-to-back singles with Odor to follow.
Well, again, Keuchel gave up a bunch of hits last time out, and this little inside-out job by Jimenez quite pretty.
Two men on now, and it's Rougned Odor. 263, 3 homers, 17 runs batted in. 196 though last 13 games for Odor. 2 for 7 in this series. That last start of the year here for Dallas last season was September 25th. He lost the game 7-3. He gave up 6 earned runs in 5 2/3 innings after the Astros had a 3-1 lead in the 4th. Around to bunt, Odor takes a look at it. It's high for ball 1. Games like that can stay with a player for a long time. Dominguez, even with the edge of the grass, and Singleton is on the grass. The bunt is fouled. 1 ball, 1 strike. Adam Rosales is on deck, the number 8 hitter. And Odor trying to sacrifice these runners.
The bunt game seems to a lot of people to be a very easy facet of the game, but it's not. And Major League pitching makes it extremely difficult at times.
Rangers have gone to the sacrifice bunt quite often this year. He takes a look at it. It's a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike. They don't have Prince Fielder. ESPN the magazine does though. And they've just had a lot of injuries. Giovanni Soto's been out, their catcher. It's a bunt and a throw to second. He bunted through the ball, and just to make sure that runner does not take liberties, Corcoran throws down to second base. The count goes to 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It's probably the best time to throw to second and try to pick a runner off when a guy is trying to bunt and bunts right through it. As a base runner, you start moving toward the bag, and I'm very impressed with what Smolinski has done in numerous areas, but that was extremely good getting back.
Now swinging away, Odor fouls it.
When you get back that easily, though, the question I would have on the bunt, if the bunt is laid down, will you get to third base in time?
The Rangers have grounded into 87 double plays this year. That is tops in the American League. And Keuchel, very much a ground ball pitcher with the best ground ball to fly ball ratio in the majors. 3.67 ground balls for every fly ball. 3-2 now.
Signs coming out from Corcoran, the anticipation the running game might come into play. Which base does he throw to?
That's off the plate, and Odor has drawn a walk to load the bases with nobody out for Adam Rosales.
A lot to consider for a pitching coach almost all the time. Reflect through all the workouts throughout the course of the week for the given pitchers.
Rosales is 3 for 10 since joining the Rangers. This is his 4th game this season. He spent Major League time with the Cincinnati Reds. Also Oakland. And he joined Texas last year. He's 31 years old. That's strike 1 to Rosales. Normally a middle infielder, but playing first base tonight because of the injury situation at first with outfielder. Salas is from Chicago, went to Western Michigan University. He looks at it, and it is a ball for a 1-1 count. Keuchel is the best in the American League at getting double play balls. He has 19. Grounded slowly. Dominguez throws to the plate for the force out, and that's all they get. Out number 1, going from 5 to 2 on Smolinski. Everybody else occupying the 3 bases with Dan Robertson coming up.
Not a bad play there to set up for Dallas Keuchel. You get the lead out, and now the ground ball can get you out of the inning if you can get the double play. But for Matt Dominguez, no question mark as to where he was going to go on this one.
With one big bounce. Robertson is next. He had a collision with Alex Rios in the outfield, and that's the reason he is wearing that protective device over his left cheek. That's a strike to him. 224, no homers, 4 runs batted in. You remember when Art Howe was hit by that pitch from Scott Sanderson?
Far too well.
Broke his jaw, and he wore a football type helmet.
Olympic Stadium, day game, shadows all over the place. You couldn't see the ball at the plate, and Art was the guy that took one.
Ground ball by Dominguez. 2 runs will score. Hernandez throwing to third, not in time there on a 2-run double. And Texas goes up 3-2. Robertson stinging that ball to Dominguez right.
Tough play for Matt Dominguez. If he comes up with it, maybe a shot to get a double play. Hard to say at that point. But instead for Texas, that's a key 2-run producer, and they go back on top.
3 hits in the inning for the Rangers. Shin-Soo Choo will be next. He grounded the shortstop in the first. He drove in 54 last year for Cincinnati. Taps that one foul for strike 1.
5 hits already allowed by Dallas Keuchel, and again you go back to that last start. He got roughed up in Anaheim. 13 hits in 5 innings. Very un-Keuchel like, and yet watching him tonight, I feel like a lot of his pitches are right where he wants them.
Choo fouls that one. It's 0-2 now. The Astros are 5-3 against the Rangers this year, and in those 8 games their ERA against Texas is 2.89. The only time they've ever swept the Rangers in a 3-game series was here in 03. That one bounces and Corcoran blocks it. 1-2.
Corby just keeps doing a nice job. He is one heck of a backup catcher on a roster.
Astros will have a scheduled day off tomorrow before opening the 3-game homestand with Boston Friday night. Jason Castro should be good to go on his current path as the starting catcher for Friday's game. Fly ball near the line in left. Kike Hernandez with the catchers. The tag at third, and the throw to the plate offline, so that run scores. Sacrifice fly for Choo, and now 4-2 Texas.
You know, we're seeing a pretty good throwing arm in terms of strength from Kike Hernandez. This one well offline. Had he put this at the plate, the Astros double up on the play. Timing was there.
Yep.
And that's a rather handy out at the plate, in fact. But again, that throw well offline on the first base side.
Now with a runner at second and 2 outs, it's Elvis Andrus batting. He struck out in the first inning. Andrus takes ball 1. That's a strike, and it's 1-1 for Dallas Keuchel. If he wins his 9th tonight, he would be the first since Jose Lima in '99 to have the 9 wins before the All-Star break on the road. He is 6-2, so that's had a lot to do with his 8 wins. It's a 2-ball, 1-strike count, and been a dynamic duo with Jared Kozart and Dallas Keuchel in the first half of the season. Kozart picked up win number 9 Monday night, 12-7 here. Bouncer up the middle, Altuve in front of it, and the throw to Singleton gets him. In the second inning, the Rangers come up with 3 runs. 3 hits, they leave a man, and they're up 4-2.
Off against the Boston Red Sox in a 3-game series. That's July 11th through the 13th, coming up at Minute Maid Park. Don't miss Boston's only trip to Minute Maid Park this season. For tickets to the Red Sox series, call 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit Astros.com.
A reminder now, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game. It's brought to you by Miller Lite. Yu Darvish comes out for inning number 3 after the Rangers came up with 3 in the second to give him a 4-2 lead. Jose Altuve will be the leadoff man. He struck out in the first inning on a high fastball on a 2-2 count. Looking at ball 1 from Yu Darvish. Altuve and Kenny Lofton. Lofton in '94, the only players since 1933 to have 125 hits and 40 steals before the All-Star break. This one out to right center field. On the run, Robertson. This one is in for extra bases. He plays it perfectly off the wall. Altuve into second with a double. That's his 27th 2-base hit of the year.
How about the pop? I mean, driving the ball, and this may get in one of those jet streams here, but either way, he finds the gap in right center, got a pitch up, and that's what you're supposed to do to it, drive it, even if you're a little man, apparently. Jose Altuve just picking up some huge numbers.
The Astros have 4 hits off Darvish. They've all been for extra bases, 3 doubles and a triple. Altuve now with a 13-hit lead over Melky Cabrera as the major league hit leader. Robbie Grossman doubled earlier. There's ball 1 to Robbie. So this is a night of survival and a blast furnace for Darvish and Keuchel. Not only is it the heat from the temperature, but the bats that they're facing tonight. These hitters are showing up to play. 2 balls, no strikes.
Altuve had a couple of hitless games in Anaheim. That was unheard of, but he's picked it back up without question.
Grossman shoots a line drive into left center field. Altuve will round third and come in to make it a 4-3 Texas lead. Well hit ball, and now nobody backing up, and Grossman will be able to get to second, and the ball almost went into the dugout, but a sliding stop by Jimenez kept it from rolling out of play. That throw from the outfield got loose. Adam Rosales was nowhere near where he should have been and unable to get there to stop it. So that meant Grossman could keep on running into second base.
Robbie Grossman brought his bats with him this time as he comes up. That's nice, stinging the baseball the other way. I love seeing the aggressive Robbie Grossman. It's quite refreshing once again.
Robbie's 2 for 2. That's RBI number 12 of the year for him. And George Springer's the batter. We'll wait and see what the official scorer does with charging an error on that play, allowing Grossman to get to second base. Springer grounded out to shortstop earlier. Yes, now there is. That's a strike.
Error center field apparently on the throw.
Okay. Daniel Robertson charged with his second error. And of course Grossman did get the RBI on the play, and then the miscue allowing him to get into scoring position. Springer chops it, and it'll roll foul.
I think George knew this was going to be a foul ball. Still got the bat in his hand.
He went out and hooked it, reaching out for the pitch, and rolled over.
You know, if George actually has a game against a Yu Darvish and steadily makes some contact, I think that's taken a big step forward. Yu Darvish, clearly the big strikeout man in the American League last year. He knows how to punch a guy out, and George Springer, obviously leading the league in strikeouts right now, has a lot of growth to take place there.
He makes contact there, at least as far as staying alive. But when Darvish gets to an 0-2 count, there are a lot of different ways he can put away the hitter.
Looks like George Springer is actually choking up a bit. Maybe doing what he's been working on lately, trying to find a way to cut down on some strikeouts.
He punches this one to the right side. Rosales is there and tosses to Darvish, not in time. Springer beat him to the bag, and the hustle of George Springer puts him on first, with Grossman advancing to third. That was a good 2-strike approach as far as just making some contact.
Yeah, that's not the George Springer swing we're accustomed to seeing. It's also not the end result, and George Springer with that speed able to leg it out. That is nice to see. He sniffs it, the first step out of the box. He can flat fly.
He winds up with an infield hit. Hit number 6 for the Astros. Now they keep it alive for John Singleton. Runners at first and third, and nobody out. Singleton struck out in the first inning. That was a decidedly different 2-strike approach from George Springer than we have seen.
Very much so. I don't think we've seen one example of that up until this moment.
I have to agree with you. And even the previous pitch when it was 0-2 and he fouled it, he had a big cut on that one, Ash.
Agreed. Yeah. You know, we have seen George take the enormous swings, but he gets a tough slider down and away. A strikeout pitch from Darvish, but he makes contact. Not much, but with his speed, how many of these might he beat out?
Exactly. It doesn't have to be much sometimes if you can run as well as George.
You know what? If he continues this type of approach, he may not continue leading the American League in strikeouts for long.
That could be a big turning point for him. That was what the hitters call an emergency hack.
That was it.
Singleton swings at that one. No balls, 2 strikes.
9-1-1.
Well, it worked for him. Darvish has the second lowest ERA at home in the American League, 1.83. He's 4-2 in this ballpark in 8 starts. Singleton looks at it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You know the hitters have to get up for a game like this with Darvish pitching.
I guarantee you're thinking about it maybe prior to awaking on the day of the game. You might be sleeping thinking about. The guys watch so much video now that I wonder how much of that does dance around their heads at night.
Darvish, a 3-time All-Star in 3 major league seasons now, and just 27 years old. He was a 2-time MVP in the Pacific League in Japan. Since he came on the major league season in 2012 major league scene, he struck out 10 or more 25 times. Now 2 balls, 2 strikes. Some people think that he has too many pitches.
Yeah, I've heard that he or his catcher Jimenez claim that he has 9 pitches, but for me it's really an interpretation. You get varieties of sliders and breaking balls and varieties of fastballs. There's only so much you can do with a baseball.
Foul by Singleton.
And gyro ball is not one of them. Daisuke Matsuzaka came from Japan, and that was the big claim. He had the gyro ball and nobody was going to learn how he threw that thing. Well, it turned out there was really no such pitch, to the surprise of some people, but not anybody sitting here.
He was having some fun with people. And a throw to first, and of course the Rangers would be thinking about the possibility of a double steal in this situation.
Who's the last real screwball pitcher since Fernando Valenzuela? I can't think of anybody who has made a living out of throwing that pitch on a regular basis.
No, that pitch has almost disappeared. Kind of like the knuckleball.
What is Mike Marshall going to think about things?
Springer takes off and it's foul.
Mike Marshall, former major league great, big time star with the Dodgers, and that screwball was a pitch he could throw time and time again. But you just don't find many who can even accomplish that pitch.
Well, back in the 20s and 30s, Carl Hubble, of course, worked his way to the Hall of Fame as a left-handed screwball pitcher. And the story was because the arm has to be twisted, palm has to be twisted outward, he would walk down the street with his palm facing outward. Struck him out looking. And that's out number 1.
A lot of people walking behind him thought he was saying hello to them. Good curveball. And that's a variety of breaking ball for Yu Darvish.
Now Matt Dominguez. Dexter Fowler talking with Bo Porter. Dexter's been doing some work trying to get back from the disabled list, maybe this coming weekend against the Boston Red Sox. The wraps will be taken off him, we're told by Bo Porter. Come Friday night, he'll be able to go through the full pregame workout, and if things go well there, he will be brought back without any rehab assignment. Dominguez rounded back to Darvish, who throws over on Springer.
You don't see that much, if at all, anymore, where a guy does not go out on rehab. I wonder if that indicates that rehab might have been turned down.
Well, we don't know about that. Players do not have to agree to go to rehab once you get a certain amount of time in the big leagues. I think that's how it works anyway. So
I believe that's the case. Some decades back, rehab wasn't even something that took place hardly at all. But now it's routine for players.
Well, it's a drudgery for an established major league player, certainly.
It is.
But it works the other way for these minor league franchises. When you get a big name coming to AAA or AA to do some rehab work with them, fans love that. The minor league players love that. Carter on deck. It's in for a strike, and it's 0-2 on Matt Dominguez.
There's no time for another strikeout right here. The Astros need to pick up at least another run in the inning.
Rangers have struggled at home. They're 18-25 in this ballpark. The 18 wins tied for the fewest in club history through 43 games. 1-2. Astros have beaten the Rangers 4 consecutive times. And that ties the most wins in a row they've ever had in the series with the Rangers. The other time was an 0-2.
Got an intriguing scenario right here. You've got the league's strikeout king from last year, HOU Darvish, on the mound. 2 strikes on Matt Dominguez, and Chris Carter waiting on deck. Strikeouts appear to be kind of the theme at the moment. Might Springer be on the move?
I think there's a pretty good chance. Jimenez has thrown out 17%. Dominguez fouls it. The Astros would think about running because, first of all, they do run often. They lead the league in steals. Secondly, Darvish is so tough to hit. Thirdly, opponents are 8 for 8 in steals against Darvish, and Jimenez, not a full-time catcher, has not thrown out a decent percentage this year.
What to do with Robbie Grossman when Dexter Fowler comes back?
Great to see Robbie swing the bat well tonight. Bouncer up the middle. Odor will flip. Elvis Andrus will fire. It's a 4-6-3 double play to end the Astros third. They wind up with a run on 3 hits with an error and strand 1. It's now 4-3 Rangers.
For you to tweet your photos using hashtag CSNHFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T. And while you're tweeting, we have a Twitter question for you. Tweet us and we'll answer them later. Home Run Derby, still a spot left on the American League team. How much would it mean to you if Springer went to the Home Run Derby? Brownie, I think you said Springer showed interest in being on that squad, right?
Well, I read somewhere that he did. I haven't asked him. How about you?
I haven't had a chance to talk to him about that.
Okay.
I have interest. If I can chime in, I think it'd be great not only for George, for the Astros and the image, but for Major League Baseball. I think to have a young star like George Springer come on that scene is only a plus.
I agree, but I thought you said you had interest, meaning you wanted to be in on.
You know what? I'm open. My phone will ring at any time.
We'd like to see that one.
Yeah, I would too.
Alex Rios takes ball 1. Rios doubled to left field, came around to score in the first inning on a single by Beltre. That'd be fun, Ash, if they'd name you to the team.
Yeah, if what you're looking is for a giggle during home run derby, then that's a good thing.
Everybody needs a giggle every now and then.
Well, I'm up to the task. Let's put it that way.
2-1. Well, let's take you back a few years. If you had been asked when you were playing to be in home run derby, would you have accepted? There's a deep drive to center field. Springer may not be able to get this one. Yes, he is. That is an unbelievable catch by George Springer. Absolutely amazing, slamming into that padding and holding on to the baseball.
You are looking at some kind of athlete in center field tonight for the Astros. What a player. And if he cuts down on those strikeouts as we saw in that last at bat, the way he can go get the baseball, I'll tell you what, in center field, he's got some terrific range. I'm not sure there are others who get to this ball.
That's an astonishing play by Springer.
Look at, he's not even looking at the baseball as he threw the glove up over his head. You know what? He's done this a few times already since joining the team, where he's overrun the baseball and had to reach behind his head to catch it. That's actually a behind the head catch.
Yes. Do not keep your eye on the baseball.
And do not try that at home. I don't care if your walls are padded. If they are, you may need help anyway, but wow.
The way he's grimacing, wonder if he hurt something.
Certainly the wall.
Adrian Beltre takes a strike. He's walking around rather gingerly after that collision. Beltre had the RBI single right in the first. It's 0-2.
Yeah, we had some questions about Springer running to first base his first at bat. Did he hurt something? Well, his second at bat, he sprinted down there and got an infield single, and now he goes like mad to the wall and runs through it to make a catch. Guy's off the charts, and there's a strike.
He walked away from strike three. Beltre was not given time by Bill Miller. He rang him up, and that is out number 2. Much to Beltre's chagrin. He was not granted time, and he walked away from the batter's box. Bill Miller called the pitch, and it was strike 3.
When a hitter gets time, he does not get time on his own. He asks for it. And in this case, Bill Miller did not agree with granting time. And that left it wide open for Dallas Keuchel, who took full advantage.
Now maybe Beltre thought he heard Bill Miller granting him time.
Looks like Beltre is saying that Miller threw up his hand, but Miller did no such thing.
No. He asked for it very late. The pitcher was in his windup.
Yes,
too late.
It's too late. And I think if Adrian Beltre looks at this video, and I'm sure he will, he might have to agree with Bill Miller.
Too late. Jake Smolinski comes up. He singled to left field in the second inning. And that's ball 1. Back to that Springer. Fabulous catch, though. Paul Porter revealed to the media several days ago that George had been really having a knee issue. And that's one reason he had not been trying to steal more bases until recently. So evidently that had cleared up. 1 ball, 1 strike. He sure slammed into the center field wall.
He's kind of red-faced, and I don't know if that's about the heat or about maybe this play, maybe even going face first into the wall.
1-2. You may remember, Ash, when Carlos Beltran joined the Astros, it was here in Arlington, Texas. He went back and took away a home run over the center field wall.
Slumped to the ground, didn't he, right after making the catch?
I believe so, but it was an amazing catch as well.
Good pitch from Dallas Keuchel.
Yes, it was.
Yes, I remember, and I remember a lot of things about Carlos Beltran and the way he played the game at a level above everybody else. That's the kind of talent that I see in George Springer. It's not quite as refined yet, but when I think of a Carlos Beltran and his unique talents, that's kind of what I see with George Springer.
And that was a trade in 04 with Kansas City that brought Beltran to Houston. That's punched on a line. Springer in to field it on a bounce. And a solid single for Smolinski. Smolinski might not be coming out of this lineup for a while. He's 2 for 2 tonight. That makes him 4 for 8 as a major leaguer.
A couple of nice plays in right field. He's impressing.
Chris Jimenez is next. He singled to right field in the second inning. Tough sledding tonight for Dallas Keuchel. Did not see anybody warming up in the Astros bullpen. That's 4 runs on 6 hits for the Rangers. And he throws strike 1 after he gave up 5 runs on 13 hits in 5 innings last time out against the Angels. In the previous 2 starts, he gave up 4 runs in 5 innings and 4 runs in 8 innings. 0-2 to Jimenez.
I, for one, Brownie, feel like it's time to start seeing more than 5 and maybe in a lot of cases even 6 innings from the starters for the Astros right now. Bullpen is getting massively overworked.
It's 1-2. Final turn through the rotation, of course, before the All-Star break begins after Sunday. Colin McHugh is to throw a bullpen, and that will determine whether he's able to take his start over the weekend against the Red Sox. That's punched just foul. Adam Hamari with the call at first.
Young ball girl down the right field side showing some abilities.
Scott Feldman will start Friday night against the Red Sox. The other 2 pitchers are to be announced for Bo Porter Saturday and Sunday. As of right now, all 3 Boston starting pitchers for the series are to be announced.
I wonder if John Farrell knows.
He may not. Well, of course, there are strong trade rumors about Jake Peavy being dealt, so that may affect their rotation. And today they have made a move designating for assignment A.J. Pierzynski, the veteran catcher, and calling up a strong catching prospect who's in the lineup tonight.
Saw some highlights or lowlights, however you want to look at it, of Pierzynski and some catching issues this year, and he's a strong personality, and you wonder if that might have conflicted at all with John Farrell.
That's a shot to right center field. Springer going for this one. Springer on the run, tucks it away. And it's the George Springer show here in the 3rd inning. No runs, a hit, and a man left. Fabulous catch by Springer to keep it close. Rangers up 4-3.
Of the 4th. this season at Minute Maid Park. Every Friday night home game is followed by spectacular fireworks presented by Marathon Oil Corporation. The next Friday night fireworks is July 11th after the Astros play the Boston Red Sox. Get your tickets at 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit astros.com. Guys.
Thanks, Julia. We look forward to that one. 4-3 ball game here. The Astros trailing. Chris Carter leading it off in the fourth. Darvish delivers, and it's strike one to Carter, who fouled out to the right fielder Smolinski back in the second inning. Freewheeling game here with the Astros and Rangers tied in hits with 6 each through the first 3. It's 0-2 to Carter against pitchers with ERAs of 2.63 for Darvish, 3.06 for Keuchel. Carter with 17 home runs, one behind Big Papi for the lead as a DH. That's in the air, and Rosales will come over for it. Out of play to keep the count at 0-2 for Chris. Chris on his 5-game hitting streak has hit .350 with 4 homers, 7 runs batted in. He's had 8 home runs of his 17, leading off innings. He's leading off the inning. 1-2.
Are you suggesting
it's going to happen?
Like the people that, a lot of the guys down in the dugout, they'll call the home run 180 times a year and get 3 of them.
Strikeout number 5 on the breaker by Darvish.
A little bit of an unusual start to the night with Darvish and Keuchel. It's a slider from Darvish.
Now Carlos Corcoran, who's hit very well in the absence of his friend behind the plate, Mr. Castro. Here's ball 1.
They are a great pair.
They really are.
And when Castro has big nights, comes up with a big moment in a game, the first guy there to greet him all the time is Carlos Corcoran, and it goes the other way as well.
And ball wide at first, and if Carlos Corcoran catches a shutout, we'll say, or a very fine game, and he's asked about it by the media, he typically will reference Mr. Castro for preparing the game plan.
Apparently Jason's pretty good in that regard. I have a feeling Carlos is as well.
Well, Porter, by the way, was asked about facing Darvish tonight before the game, and he did say yes, at times he's been overpowering against us. So we've looked at that, and we've looked at some of the other games when we've hit him well, and we have a pretty good plan for this game.
Well, with that 133 batting average against coming in 7 starts, I don't know how many times they did hit him well, but tonight is an example.
Is it helpful that sometimes you know what you don't want to do against a pitcher?
I don't know. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I tried that theory many times. It never worked out.
Big curveball. He struck him out. That was a lollipop.
Roy Oswalt just flipped his curveball at home plate.
Julia has something for us.
Ron, I just want to remind everyone to check out Astros Endgame Live, where you can follow the action like never before and also vote for Player of the Game. The winner will be revealed during Astros Postgame Live. That's Astros Endgame Live on csnhouston.com.
Thanks, Julia. Here is the man who ripped an RBI triple, Kike Hernandez. He's been on base now in all 9 major league games he's played. And fun to watch him. Here's ball 1.
Not just a little ping hitter. Gets a good swing, drives the baseball. Looks like he's got a great feel for the game.
It's 1-1. He talked a few days ago about ditching the leg kick he had last year. And at Corpus Christi, he hit lower than 240 last year. So he went to work over the winter, played winter ball in Puerto Rico. Now he doesn't have a leg kick. He just sort of moves his front foot. He gets up on the ball of the foot and then he moves it, slides it over. What does that do?
Well, you know how you've heard a lot of talk in recent years about getting your foot down early. Well, he's an example of that. He lands the foot. It's not that momentum stride if you think of what most guys look at like at the plate. Watch the timing of how this left foot settles in, and it's early. Right now would be when most guys would land, and so it's that early landing of the foot and getting in position early.
With the big leg kick, it can give a hitter a little bit more power, right? But also you move your eyes a little bit, don't you, when you take it?
It's the pitcher with the big windup, the Nolan Ryan type windup with the leg kick, and then otherwise you kind of turn to more of the need to be strong in the hands kind of a swing.
3-2. So maybe this approach works better against the guy with good breaking ball, helps a hitter to stay back a little bit.
Oh, I would certainly think so.
But he still got him and struck out the side. That's number 7 for Darvish. He maintains the lead, 4-3. By Miller Lite, this is a treat. This is George Springer with some of his best catches of the year.
You know, if you wanted to get the complete list here, we don't have enough time to show it, but man, has he made some great plays. That previous one out in Anaheim was great, but this one might take the cake right now for George Springer. All out, no fear and no regard for the body. And how does he catch the ball when it's behind his head like that?
Simply amazing stuff. 4-3 Rangers. Odor grounding back to Keuchel. 1 pitch, 1 out. Dallas could really use a few of those tonight. He has given up 6 hits and 4 runs through the first 3 innings.
Yeah, that standard get your ground ball outs type of performance from Dallas Keuchel has been AWOL here a little bit, and he'd love to get that back working before All-Star break time comes around.
Adam Rosales bounced into a forced play at the plate earlier. And strike 1. Keuchel 0-2 his last 3 starts with an ERA of 6.5. That's low, and it's a 1 ball 1 strike count. Dominguez backing up at third. That's where he wants it, right there at the knees. 1-2. Julia.
Ronnie, you guys talking about Springer and some of the great catches he's made. Bo was asked earlier today if he likes having him in center, despite. Oh, I almost had that one. It's coming at me. Okay. Despite Dexter Fowler being on the DL, do you like having George Springer out in center field? And he said, yeah, I do, but I'd rather have Dexter Fowler out in center. So I think we need to enjoy Springer covering all that ground while we can. Dexter not too far away.
I would think Bo would be worried after seeing catches like that one about George Springer, banging him 2 walls too many times. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
So do you think that banging into walls is a bigger part of the job in center versus one of the corner outfield spots?
It would seem not, but I think somebody with his speed is going to do that. He can get the balls that other guys can't get to.
What scares me in the corners are the walls that in many cases are so close to the chalk.
That's true.
And those walls are not nearly as well padded as outfield walls tend to be. In this case, they are. But those are the areas where I think that the most dangerous plays come about.
Excellent point.
You know, when people talk about, well, we want to make sure this guy doesn't get hurt, so we're going to put him in a corner outfield spot. It always makes me feel like, in listening to the guys that I played with through the years, they would always say they would rather play center than one of the other spots. They see the ball better.
That's in the left center field. Springer over, and he will throw into second and hold him to a single. Here's a throw back to first. They almost got him. Marwin Gonzalez fired a P to first baseman Singleton. Rosales went back in standing up.
Yeah, that pitch comes up. That's not the one for Dallas down around the knees. George Springer really cuts it loose, and so does Marwin. And I like that kind of aggressive effort.
Springer covers so much ground.
He does. And in my book, he covers the most ground on this team. That said, guys are supposed to play certain positions, and Dexter is the center fielder, and you want to, you know, part of being a manager is keeping everybody happy and producing as much as possible.
Amen. And Robertson had a 2-run double in the first. Bouncer in the hole at short. Marwin firing. Altuve firing. There's a 6-4-3 double play. Beautifully done with 2 strong throws. We move to the 5th inning, and it's 4-3 Texas.
The Astros bring the whole family out every Sunday home game at Minute Maid Park this season. That's for Family Sundays, presented by Kroger. Join us for the next Family Sunday on July 13th as the Astros take on the Boston Red Sox. For tickets, call 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit astros.com.
Big weekend coming up at Minute Maid Park, taking you right up to the All-Star break. The Astros and the Red Sox. Red Sox make their only visits to Houston this season. It'll be interesting to see what they're going through. We know that they have fallen to last place in the AL East. They're 10.5 behind Baltimore coming into tonight's play. They've lost 4 in a row right now. Now the Astros trailing by 1, 4-3, come up with Marwin Gonzalez leading off the 5th inning. But it's been probably kind of hard to explain how Boston has gone from a world championship to last place.
Well, let's see if we can do some splaining.
Okay. But one thing, they've not scored many runs at all. I believe fewer than the Astros for the season. And, you know, another thing is they're not quite the same club. They don't have Jacoby Ellsbury anymore. They've made some other changes as well. And it's difficult for players to repeat what they did during a World Championship season.
Red Sox have played 2 less games than the Astros this year, but they are averaging less in terms of runs per game. In fact, they are dead last now in the American League in runs per game. Tampa Bay just above them, and the Astros have moved up after scoring some runs here in this series. The Astros in that 13th spot. So the Red Sox are dead last in the offensive main category, runs per game. So that's a big indicator as to why they're struggling.
Yes, it is. They have a shortstop issue. And they welcome Stephen Drew back into the fold, but he's not hitting.
The Red Sox have actually pitched okay this year. Overall, they're at .389 with the ERA. That's in the upper half of the American League.
Big rumor of the day was that Jake Peavy may be going to the St. Louis Cardinals, who scouted his last start. And Ben Cherington, the general manager, has had a conversation with Peavy, telling him that he may be dealt. Rolled up the line at first. Darvish comes over and flips to Adam Rosales, 1 out.
Little delay on that flip from Darvish, and a nice play by Rosales to haul it in. Much as Darvish gets to this ball early. A little couple of steps and then oops, I guess I better flip it. It's not easy to grab that ball with the glove when it's tossed that softly.
Darvish now has settled into a groove. After giving up 6 hits, the first 3 men up in the 3rd inning got hits off him. Then he got Singleton looking. Dominguez to ground into a double play. He has not allowed any base runners since those first 3 reached in the 3rd inning. Jose Altuve doubled to lead off that 3rd and came home to score. A single by Grossman. Ball 1 to Jose. The Red Sox have called up the young catcher is Christian Velasquez, and he's making his major league debut tonight for them. So they simply, according to one story, want to move on and look at the younger player rather than staying with A.J. Pierzynski after signing him to an $8 million deal for 1 year.
Now, minus the money aspect of that story, I know that story. Craig Biggio came on the scene and turned out to be pretty good. And we'll see how this turns out for Velasquez.
Chop a shortstop. Elvis Andrus, 2 outs. Well, we're at that stage of the season, Ash. And organizations are going to be taking stock of what they have as the trade deadline approaches at the end of the month. And they're going to be looking at where they are in the standings and what kind of talent they have in the minor leagues, what kind of demand there is for the players on their major league roster right now, which ones they don't figure to bring back next year, and they might be moving some of these people along in deals.
You better have a good minor league system. There is no question in today's game. And you can look around at some of the deals made for veterans as free agents. They are questionable. Robinson Cano has been great this year, but how great is that going to be years down the line? And that's a 10-year deal like that of Albert Pujols. Then there's Josh Hamilton. You can go on and on. Those are tough deals to make when those players believe they should get top dollar when they do go on as a free agent. So I'm not so sure that's the wise way to go. You got to make shrewd deals along the way, come up with guys that help you that you might not have anticipated. The best I've seen in the last 10 years was that of the acquisition of Jose Bautista by the Blue Jays. Nobody thought anything of that deal at the time. Don't know what the Jays saw in making that deal, but it turned out great. Those shrewd deals and a strong minor league system, I think, are absolute keys.
0-2 to Robbie Grossman. He's 2 for 2 with an RBI tonight. And tops this one foul. Derek Brock comes up with that one. That little kid looked disappointed.
But I think it also says, Brownie, a great need for top-notch, not anything else, but top-notch training and coaching on the minor league level.
Absolutely. 1-2. You know, one of the stories hinting at some trade possibilities quoted some general managers saying, well, teams aren't looking to move dollars off their payroll so much as they used to anymore. That's not going to be a big motivator trying to trade a player who's making a lot of money to get that off the payroll.
That's intriguing, because that for a long time has been a big motivator.
There's a drive to right field, a liner near the line. Robbie Grossman has hit one for a home run. Number 3, and he is 3 for 3 in this game. He ties it. A line shot off HOU Darvish. What a night for Robbie Grossman. That's 13 runs batted in for Robbie. And on a 1-2 pitch, he hit it hard.
So Robbie Grossman suddenly gets hot with the bat, and he does it in the last road trip game right now before the Astros come back home. You talked about Dexter Fowler getting pretty darn close to being back in there. What does this do for Robbie Grossman in the end run? And great to see for Robbie, a terrific young man.
Strike to George Springer. Just stayed fair over the 325 sign. First 3-hit game of the season for Robbie Grossman. Hard-working young player, has been through a difficult time at the major league level. Bounce to the second baseman. Odor comes over for it. Flipping to Rosales for out number 3. But the Grossman home run gives the Astros a fresh start. Here in the 5th inning, Robbie's 3rd hit of the night makes it 4-4.
In Texas, let's take a look at the upcoming schedule brought to you by Progressive Insurance. And that schedule includes 3 games against the Boston Red Sox following tomorrow's off day, and then it's the All-Star break. The Astros headed back on the road to start things after the break in Chicago against the White Sox, but 3 coming up with those Boston Red Sox, the reigning World Series champions.
Here's strike 1 for Dallas Keuchel, working to the leadoff man, Shin-Soo Choo, who was 0 for 1 with a sac fly. Now a fresh start for Dallas, who's been roughed up for 7 hits and 4 runs. And it's a 1-ball 1-strike count. Dallas, of course, undergoing the inflammation in his left wrist. And he was skipped after his start of June 22nd with that inflammation. He has not reported any ill effects after being skipped that 1 turn from that wrist problem. 1-2.
No, but he did have the rough game, giving up 13 hits and struggling a bit tonight. I imagine that cost him in terms of just that great feel he had going.
That's strike 3 call, and HOU takes it for strikeout number 3.
HOU doesn't like the call, but a perfectly placed pitch there by Dallas Keuchel, and he's under 80 pitches right now. It's been a bit of a struggle, and yet he's kept the pitch count reasonable. That's painted well.
Last time out, he threw 92 pitches in 5 innings against the Angels, but allowed those 13 hits you talked about. Elvis Andrus is next. He is struck out and grounded out. Cardinals lead the Pirates in St. Louis. It's 3-2 in the 4th inning. Ball 1 to Andrus. Neil Walker hit his 12th home run for the Buccos. It's quite a race in the NL Central. Roll to the right side for Singleton. Tossing to Keuchel. 2 outs. Keuchel has more total chances per 9 innings than any other American League pitcher. Really helps himself with his fielding.
Well, if you're going to lead in getting ground ball outs, some of those have to involve you as the pitcher. And Dallas is a very handy fielder on the hill anyway.
Now it's Rios coming up. He doubled to left and sent George Springer into the wall to rob him in the 3rd inning. Here's strike 1. Nationals lead at Baltimore. It's 6-2. Washington in the top of the 9th inning. Jason Murphy and Desmond Wilson Ramos have homered. 0-2. 16 home runs for the shortstop Desmond now. Ground ball. Singleton positioned perfectly. Will take it. And now Keuchel regroups here in the 5th with a 1-2-3 inning to keep the game tied at 4.
Astros on the Rangers top 6. Sports Talk Live with Kevin Eschenfelder wrangles up some noteworthy sports guests that have plenty of buzzworthy opinions. You'll never know who will stop by. Tomorrow's guest includes Jorge Vargas, Nick Wright, Adam Wexler, and Glenn Davis. Guys.
Thanks, Julia. There's Lake Jones outside the ballpark here in Arlington. We go to the 6th inning in a 4-4 game. And it's John Singleton leading it off. He's 0 for 2. 2 punch outs. One to Singleton with Yu Darvish in a battle with Dallas Keuchel, and it's 4-4 after 5. Not exactly what many people were anticipating when they looked at the ERAs of these two and the fact that they both have 8 wins. And the shift is on with Odor in right field. But the shortstop Andrus is well over on the 3rd base side of second, so it's not the usual pull shift. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
When you play out in the outfield like that, as the second baseman is, Odor, it actually takes a little of the angle away from you up the middle. It creates a larger gap there. The further you go away from home plate, the less angle you're actually going to cover.
2-1.
Assuming you can react in time.
It's a way to give a second baseman more range.
Well, yeah, but again, if you go to the 90 degrees of the field, the further you go away from home plate, the less angle you actually are covering. For instance, if you were to hit a ground ball toward right center right now, which would be straight up second base, the infielder has the better shot of actually range-wise getting to that ball than an outfielder who's not exactly on the mark. So the closer you come to the plate, range, well, that angle, you actually have the advantage, but it's down to reaction at that point.
Looping curveball popped back, and Darvish has mixed in that slower curve tonight. 92 pitches for Darvish, 63 of them strikes. I would say the ball's hit to the right of Rosales. Odor may be able to get it by being deeper.
That's right. You have more time to cover more ground the further you go back.
But your point is well taken too, and if it's a little roller just past the mound, that's going to be a hit.
Yeah, as you gain in some areas, you lose in others as you start moving guys around like that. But if you had the time to make the reaction play, when you're drawn in, the infield in, you're actually covering more percentage of that infield as you come in.
That's hooked on a line, and that is going to be looping in, and no shift problem for John Singleton, and Singleton is aboard with a leadoff single here in the 6th inning.
Well, good night to learn. A couple of strikeouts and then deals with an off-speed breaking ball. It's been a good series for John Singleton after a rough go.
See what that Singleton foul ball did. It left a mark.
Yeah. And now he's a big hero.
He'll be on Twitter. And Dominguez is 0 for 2. He's hit the ball on the ground both times. Double play ball second time up. Fouls it back, strike one. That guy's going to be a rock star, Ash.
He already is, I think, in today's world. It doesn't take long.
His abs will be seen by millions.
What's a six-pack with a baseball mark in the middle of it? Yeah, there we go.
Not that he's willing to show anybody, you understand.
No, that's right. That's right. Okay, so we've got photos of it. It's on Twitter. It's everywhere.
Yes, there's proof that you can't catch a foul ball. Pop up in front of the plate. And here's Beltre with the grab one out.
It was kind of intriguing right there. The catcher, Jimenez, was going up the third base line in foul territory toward the coaching box. And I'm trying to figure out what exactly was involved on that play there. I had it covered.
Yeah. He wanted out. Chris Carter's 0 for 2. Yankees 4, Indians 4. They're in the top of the 10th in Cleveland. Mark Teixeira's hit a pair of homers, giving him 17. But now Masahiro Tanaka is hurt. The disabled list. There's a shot right through the shift. It was hit so hard Odor couldn't get it. Andrus couldn't flag it down. And Carter ripped a single to give him a 6-game hitting streak.
Yeah, sometimes it looks like Carter's not putting much into the swing. Look at the aggressiveness on that swing through the hitting zone. It wasn't a big finish or anything. Nice quick bat through there, and that's the kind of quick bat that could help Chris Carter stay away from the strikeouts.
Well, pitching coach Mike Maddox is at the mound.
See how quick he gets through the zone? That's very nice. Not a wavy kind of a swing.
Carter's had a very nice road trip. 4 home runs and some other hits along the way. Now Maddox and Darvish talk it over, and we've been told that Darvish understands English perfectly. 97 pitches. Bull Porter was talking about how hard a worker Darvish is, and that is the Japanese baseball culture. He said he has seen him after starting a game the night before out doing work in the outfield the next day, tossing a little bit. He said in Japanese baseball they do a full workout before every game. They're working on plays in the field. 5 1/3 innings, 9 hits, 4 runs, and they're going all out. Carlos Corpora on the batter, first and second, nobody out, 1 out rather, and there's ball 1. Corp doubled to right field in the second inning and scored on the Hernandez triple, and he struck out in the 4th. Well, nice to know that when Jason Castro is unable to play, Corcoran can step up and start a series of games. And they'll be well called games, and his bat can have an impact. Strike, and that makes it 1-1. In fact, this is the 30th game Carlos has started this year, and the club's record in the first 29 is 14-15. Mets beat the Braves 4-1 behind Dylan G. He is 4-1. Foul ball, and it's a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Corcoran hit a big home run off Darvish in one of Yu's starts against the Astros. That was last year in Houston, August 12th. Came in the 8th inning. Darvish won the game 2-1. That was the only hit off Yu Darvish in 8 innings that night. Swings at that one and fouls it. Kike Hernandez is on deck. Well, Darvish has made 7 starts against the Astros. In those 7, in the second one he was perfect through 8 2/3. In the 5th one he was perfect for 5 2/3. And then his earlier start this year he was perfect through 5. He left with the score tied 0-0 after 8 innings here in Texas against Scott Feldman on April 11th. And the Rangers won it in the 12th, 1-0.
And the year began here for the Astros much like it ended last year when they went 2-17 against the Rangers. So it's a nice turnaround starting to take place.
It's grounded wide of first base. Interesting to read the Dallas newspaper accounts of last night's game and also where these two teams are right now in their relative developments. And Tim Kalishaw had a column here today in one of the Dallas newspapers about that very thing. And the headline is, beyond this year, Astros seem poised to overtake Rangers.
Well, time tells, and injuries have immediate impact. You hope, obviously, to be at full strength, and I know the Astros and Rangers feel that way.
Last year, the Rangers won 40 more games than the Astros, 91-51. Right now, they've both won 38 games. Houston has lost 54, Texas 52. Fly ball left field line. Chu coming over. Chu sliding and into fair territory. Gets by him. And 2 runs are going to score. And Corcoran stopping as the throw comes back in. So Carlos Corcoran has given the Astros the lead 6-4. Shin-Soo Choo tried a sliding catch and was unable to catch it. Then the ball got by him into the left field corner for a 2-run double for Corcoran.
Yeah, we kind of lose Shin-Soo Choo down in the corner in that left field side. As he slid into the baseball, I thought he was going to come up with this, but obviously a very tough play, and Carlos Corcoran comes up with another big knock for the club.
Chris Carter scoring from first. Now Ron Washington is out to talk over that play with the third base umpire, Vic Carapazza. And he is going to ask for this play to be reviewed.
Couldn't tell if Chu made contact with the leather on this ball, but if it hits leather or body of Chu before it comes down, it's where was the ball in relation to the foul line. Has nothing to do with where Chu's body or his glove or whatever were. It's at that moment where the ball hits the body or glove. Was it fair or foul?
Looking like a very big call in this game. It was 4-4 at the time. 2-run scoring on that one.
Chu thinks it was a foul ball. It's going to be a big call in this game. Ooh, that's going to be tough to call. That is going to be very tough to call. That is a
fair ball.
It's a fair ball is right.
Right on the line.
That's not going to be tough to call when that ball lands on the line like that. So it hit line and not glove or body.
Yeah, but you're right. We had to see that a few times and get it slowed down. And the call has been upheld. That didn't take long at all. But it did appear that he whiffed on it. He didn't touch it, did he?
Good for the guys in New York. They're starting to tidy up a lot of these calls.
Now 6-4 Houston. Kike Hernandez bats. He has an RBI triple and 2 trips to the plate. That's 10 hits for the Astros. And there's strike one. Darvish still throwing in the mid-90s. But 6 runs against Darvish, the most the Astros have ever scored against him.
Well, this game is going to make the lifetime numbers Darvish against Houston look very different than they did coming in.
It sure will. Fly ball to right, and that's caught by Smolinski. 2 outs. Darvish gave up 5 runs in 6 innings here against Dallas Keuchel last July 6th. He got the loss in that one. And now he may get another L tonight with the Astros leading it, but still a long way to go in this one as Marwin Gonzalez steps up. He's 0 for 2. 105 pitches for Darvish. He threw 101 pitches and got through 8 innings the first time he faced the Astros this year here. In the air and foul. Well, it certainly has been a real good pick-me-up offensively for the Astros in this series. Monday night 12 runs on 17 hits. Last night 8 runs on 12 hits. So 20 runs on 29 hits in those 2 games combined. Good stop by Jimenez. 1 ball 1 strike coming into this game. The Astros had the American League low in hits, in doubles, in singles, in productive outs, in batting average. And yet there's a very optimistic tone offensively to this series now.
Should be when you can have a night like this against Yu Darvish.
Let's roll foul. 1-2. Rangers are hopeful of getting their lefty Derek Holland back after the All-Star break. He had knee surgery during the offseason. But they have really been searching for pitching. And last night turned to Phil Irwin. He gave them 4 innings. The night before it was Miles Michaelis who worked 3 1/3. Low curve and a strikeout of Gonzalez, but the Astros come up with 2 runs to break the tie. They get 3 hits. They leave a man. It's 6-4 Houston.
Now on top of the Rangers, join us for our high school baseball experience and play a game at Minute Maid Park. We'll create an experience your group is sure to remember. Call 1-877-9-ASTROS or email groupsales@astros.com.
Beautiful moon above. Dallas Keuchel and the Astros have a 6-4 lead now. Dallas had a quick 5th inning in 1-2-3 fashion, which probably made him very happy, considering the way he was all geared up.
Made Brent Strom happy, I'm sure.
Is that the famous boomstick?
That has to be the boomstick, right?
Wow.
That is, Julia, you were not up here to see it the other night, but there was a guy who had eaten about 4 bites of boomstick, and he was leaving. And on his way out, we saw him. Uh-oh, here we go again with Beltre trying to call time late, and he's into it again with Bill Miller. And Keuchel did not pitch that time. He stopped. So Beltre's getting all flustered, trying to call timeout too late. And he was not granted that timeout and struck out looking in the 3rd inning. And hits this one in the air. Here's Altuve out to shallow right center field. Springer behind him, but Altuve gets out for the catch. 1 pitch out.
This is a very mad hack eventually taken by Beltre. But yeah, Dallas Keuchel could have come along and thrown that pitch.
He could have.
I'm not sure why he chose to stop, unless he felt like, okay, look, I'm not going to take advantage of this guy again. I'm not trying to quick pitch him. I'm just trying to get a nice pace to the game.
Jake Smolinski is 2 for 2. George Springer well over to right center field. Now he's moving back toward center about 3-4 steps. Smolinski has hit the ball to left and to center for his 2 hits.
I wonder if the Rangers have decided they're going to try to slow things down on Keuchel.
Well, Beltre's decided he is.
Look at this swing. That was, I'm going to launch one to show everybody that you don't make me mad. Now, sometimes it works out, sometimes not so much.
Looping liner over Altuve into right center field. Smolinski's 3 for 3.
I like this guy. I'm sure the Rangers feel the same way after watching the last 2 nights. But he's playing some good baseball.
It's hit number 8 for the Rangers. Chris Jimenez has one of those hits and the fly ball to center field. Springer caught it in right center on the run. Springer once again well over in right center field. Straightaway center wide open for Chris Jimenez. And it's strike 1. So we're seeing some extreme outfield positioning here in this inning. Jason Frazier's warming up in the bullpen. In the dirt. He swung at it. The pitch is getting away from Corcoran. That allows Smolinski to reach second base. It was a strike, though, so the count goes to 0-2 and then a wild pitch.
Yeah, you get the strike, but you lose the double play possibility. And that's clearly not what you want when you've got Dallas Keuchel in his ground ball style on the hill.
Excellent point. Smolinski wild pitch to second. 88 pitches for Keuchel now. And in the dirt again. 1-2.
You better be ready for that blocking game when Keuchel's out on the hill, because he's going to throw that slider in the dirt. He's going to take something off of the sinker, maybe a changeup, and drive it in the dirt as well.
In tight for a ball. That makes it a 2-ball, 2-strike count.
Try to work that inside corner. He's a complete pitcher when you talk about trying to work the edges and keep it down, and then maybe an occasional pitch up, changing speeds.
Grounded back to Keuchel. Checks the runner and gets him. 2 outs.
So there was your double play minus the wild pitch.
Odor will bat next. Walked and scored in the 2nd inning. Grounded out in the 4th. Rangers got a 1st inning run to lead Keuchel 1-0 after one. The Astros got 2 in the second to go up 2-1. Then Texas responded with 3 in the second. But the Astros chipped away, got a 3rd inning run and a 5th inning homer by Robbie Grossman to tie it. And then the 2-run double by Corcoran in the top of this inning, putting them up by 2. Odor with an 0-1 count now. Swings wildly at that pitch. No balls, 2 strikes.
Carlos Corcoran's getting his work in here in the inning.
Odor is at just 205 against lefty pitching this year. That was in the dirt, and it's 1-2. The Rangers moving on after the Ian Kinsler trade. But it's hurt them that Jurickson Profar, one of their top prospects, has been hurt all year. And that meant that they had to rush Odor to the big leagues. Very young player. Rosales on deck. Grounded to Altuve. On over to Singleton. No runs ahead and a man left after 6. 6-4. The Astros lead the Rangers. When Carlos Corcoran came to the plate with 2 men on and 1 out. Hit a ball down the left field line. Shin-Soo Choo tried for the sliding catch. He missed the ball. The ball hit on the left field line. And that allowed John Singleton to score from second and Chris Carter to come in from first. The Astros taking a 6-4 lead on the Corcoran double, the second double of the night. On this road trip, he's hit 400, 8 for 20. 2 more hits tonight, both doubles, 4 runs batted in and 3 runs scored.
What do you want from your backup catcher? A guy who goes in occasionally and does a real solid job, especially defensively. But when you get this kind of work over a prolonged period, then you've got something very special.
Yu Darvish is out of the game. Jason Frazier replaces him. In 36 games, he's 1-1 with a 2.86 ERA.
Long-time reliever. Once upon a time mid-90s and even then some with the fastball. Has lost a little bit, but not a whole lot. One of those small guys who throws hard.
And he's been effective against left-handed hitters this year. 220 batting average for the lefty hitters against him. Jose Altuve leads it off. He's 1 for 3, a double in the third, and he scored his 47th run of the year after that double. He's taking ball 1. Yu Darvish knocked around tonight, giving up 10 hits and 6 runs in 6 innings. Walking 1 and fanning 8. That's a shot picked up on the short hop by Odor. Well hit, but out number 1.
That's the thing about this game. To see a guy be as hot as Altuve has been so long now. So rare, because you can sting baseballs and make a lot of outs in this game.
He did exactly that. Still looking back. Now 1 down, and it's Robbie Grossman who's been a huge factor tonight. 3 for 3. A homer, 2 runs batted in. He tied the game with his 5th inning line drive homer. Strike to Robbie. Went to Cy-Fair High School in Houston. Brandon Barnes hit the last cycle for Houston. July 19th last year. Robbie needs a triple for that.
Well, see, Brandon was kind of a, well, at one time he was the center fielder, but kind of a 4th outfielder for the club. Maybe Robbie fits into that same mold now. Maybe the everyday left fielder, who knows?
He worked with AAA hitting coach Leon Roberts at Oklahoma City before returning to the Astros. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Leon has a good reputation of simplifying hitting.
Bring it down to one thing that can help you with any given at bat.
2-2. Frazier's given up runs in his last 3 outings. His name is appearing in some trade rumors, along with that of lefty reliever Neil Cox. That's clocked into right center field. Robbie Grossman 4 for 4. What a night for Robbie Grossman.
I guess he was saving them up. It was 0 for forever for Robbie, and suddenly he has this night. And again, great to see. And still might have a shot at that cycle later in the game.
He hit that on the screws.
Got to be kidding me. How'd they hold me away from the triple?
First 4-hit game of his career. 11 hits for the Astros. George Springer is 1 for 3, an infield hit. That's in for strike 1. Angels beat the Blue Jays in Anaheim 8-7. They're headed this way now to open their series against the Rangers here tomorrow night. Albert Pujols hit his 20th home run. Cole Calhoun, number 10. Jason Grilli won it. Luke was the loser, and Joe Smith got saved number 12. So the Angels remain a torrid club. 53-37. They leave their stadium where they're 32-15 at home. They are keeping the heat on.
I think I'd bring the home whites with me on the road if I were the Angels.
Well, beginning play today, they were 4.5 behind Oakland.
You mean those Oakland A's who never lose?
Yeah, they won 6 in a row. Jose Veras is getting loose for Houston. Two balls and a strike for Springer. Tigers beat the Dodgers today. Max Scherzer outdueling Zach Greinke 4-1. Scherzer went to 11-3. Greinke is 11-5. John Nathan got his 18th save. Quite a year for Scherzer, headed for free agency. Fly ball hit high to right field. Way back Smolinski. He's out of room. Springer has hit an opposite field 2-run homer. And it's 8-4 Houston. George Springer hitting number 19. That gives him 50 runs batted in.
Welcome to Arlington and the prevailing winds. I have a feeling the winds might have played a little part here, but there are some guns that also played a part. George Springer is absolutely awesome.
His talents are on display tonight. He hit one last night to straightaway center. Now he goes to right.
I wonder what was in George's mind as this ball comes off the bat. Did he get it? Didn't he? As you watch the ball carry here at the yard, it just kept on going.
An 8-4 lead for Houston. And John Singleton comes up. There's strike one. Springer hit a long ball in game 2 of the series in Anaheim. 14 homers on the road, third most in the American League. So 3 homers for George on this road trip.
So it's game number 93. He's got 50 RBIs now. And you could project that out. But I have a feeling if he can kind of get things going a bit in the second half, and that smile says maybe he thinks he can, that he can get 90+ ribs on the year.
There's a swing by Singleton to make it 1-2.
You know, and I also think he's gone way past the point of anybody asking, well, is he comfy hitting in the 3 spot or the 4, whatever it turns out to be. I love him in the 3 spot. He runs so well. He's got the great power. He's even had an infield hit today as he choked up with a couple of strikes on him. You know, the defense is off the charts.
That one spins Singleton around. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
One thing Singleton does on that pitch inside extremely well is turn back toward the catcher. Just does it perfectly.
Struck him out looking. 2 outs.
So what do you think if Springer hits another home run in the next few games before the All-Star break? He has 20 bombs as you go to the All-Star game. That is, I mean, that's quite formidable despite all the strikeouts and the struggles that have come along.
That's just an eye-opening season for George Springer. Matt Dominguez 0 for 3. He got off to a bit of a slow start the first couple of weeks as a major leaguer. Since then he's been monstrous. So will he be the final participant in the home run derby in the American League on that roster?
It would be fun if he was. I would love to see a matchup that involves, well, there's just some great names there, but Giancarlo Stanton and George Springer, wow.
Odor to his left. Good play over to Rosales. But the George Springer home run, number 19 for George, gives the Astros a 4-run lead. It's 8-4 in the 7th.
Park here in Arlington. We asked and you answered our Twitter question. How much would it mean to you if Springer went to the home run derby? Yes, we have good timing here. Ideal Crack says would be amazing for our image and would be good for all our fans looking for progress. At our Cunningham 60 says a Springer dinger would be a zinger that would linger in our all-star memories. Vote George.
Thanks, Julia. 8-4 ball game. Springer's had a big role in this one. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Adam Rosales and Dallas Keuchel ready to go at it against each other. Rosales is 1 for 2. Ball 1. Robertson on deck. Chu due up third. Jose Veras has been warming up for Houston. In the air, and it's out to right center field. Springer going for it, and Grossman made the catch. We may have catcher interference on this. We're going to nullify this play. Bill Miller indicating that the hitter Rosales with his bat hitting Carlos Corcoran's mitt will reach first base on catcher interference.
Yeah, Corpy's not too pleased about this. It comes when you least expect it as a catcher, and it's very frustrating. Usually with guys that take that swing starting maybe back more than others. You can see how it happened there. Rosales immediately turning, acknowledging that, hey, I hit the glove there.
So an error goes up for Houston on that play, and now here is a strike on Robertson running up against the bunt.
Corpy always does a great job in keeping the glove back toward his body, so he's not a reaching catcher, but right here might have reached a bit.
Robertson doubled in a couple of runs in the 2nd inning, then grounded into a double play. Looks at that one for a strike. No balls, 2 strikes for Dallas Keuchel. Neil Cox warming up. He takes that one for a ball to make it 1-2 to Robertson.
Keuchel couldn't have placed the ball any more exactly where he wanted than where he left that pitch. Doesn't get the call. Corpy's not reaching and pulling. That's just, is it low? Is it inside? Coin flip time.
Grounded foul into the Ranger dugout. Still 2-2 to Robertson. Rangers are 21-8 at this ballpark against the Astros. Since the beginning of the 08 season, overall, the Rangers are 42-15 against Houston. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The Astros would love to bring that Silver Boot trophy back to Minute Maid Park by winning the season series. They could go up 6-3 if they get this one tonight.
Once again, Keuchel trying to get the inside corner. Very close, but not getting the call. Inside corner, tough with umpires. Outside corner expands. Still the guts to come right back in there. I'll tell you what, he is a complete pitcher. He doesn't have, the only thing he doesn't have is that big 95+ mile-an-hour fastball, but everything else is so well refined.
High chop. Keuchel has to wait. He bare hands and throws him out on a great stretch by Singleton. Tremendous play to get Robertson.
Yeah, this is a play that's made, and so nothing negative at all. But for any pitcher, just use the glove. Watch the time once Keuchel gets the hand on it he reaches down. Same thing if you catch it with the glove. You just reach down, that same motion. But somehow he pulls it off. That's beautifully done. Omar Vizquel would be proud.
Bet. One out, and it's Chu batting now. Chu is 0 for 2 with a sac fly. That's strike one to him. Wins between Cozart and Keuchel. The most by an Astros duo before the All-Star break since Roy Oswalt won 12. Brandon Bakke and Roger Clemens each had 7 and 0-5 in the first half. It's been a while since two Houston pitchers have combined for this many wins in the first half. Of course, we're past the actual halfway point. Better stated by the All-Star break. In the dirt. 2 balls, 1 strike.
You know, when you have 2 starting pitchers who potentially have 9 wins each before the All-Star game, you would figure the club's doing quite well, and the Astros are coming along. But that means the other starters need to step things up.
It's a fly ball out to left field. Kike Hernandez. 2 down. And Elvis Andrus will bat. Now the Astros starting pitchers have combined for an ERA of 4.00. That's right in the middle of the pack. And Bo Porter out to make a change, it would appear. Right-handed hitting Andrus 2 up. 109 pitches for Dallas Keuchel. And that's the night for Dallas. Win number 9 is a possibility for him. He leaves with an 8-4 lead. 2 outs in the 7th inning, a runner at second, and survived the 3-run second inning, pitching scoreless baseball after that. So it's 8-4 Houston. Jose Veras coming in. Back in a moment.
Voting isn't over quite yet. You can vote for Dallas Keuchel until Thursday, July 10th at 3 p.m. Central. Cast your All-Star Game final vote to make Dallas Keuchel one of the final 2 All-Stars in Minnesota. Vote at Astros.com or text A1 to 89269. Standard message and data rates may apply. Guys, after Dallas made its way down to the dugout, Dexter Fowler yelled out to anyone that could hear him, vote Keuchel. That's all he could do.
Yeah, you have until 3 tomorrow afternoon to vote. Now Jose Veras is in the game facing Elvis Andrus with a runner at second and 2 outs. Andrus is 0 for 3 tonight. Veras pitched in the Monday night game here, giving up 1 run in 1 inning. Astros won that game 12-7. Now time called. Diamondbacks beat the Marlins in the 10th in Arizona 4-3. 5 appearances with the Astros for Veras. He's allowed 3 earned runs in 4 2/3 innings. Ground ball to shortstop. Marlon Gonzalez with the throw over to Singleton. And it's no runs, no hits, 1 error and 1 left. Vote Keuchel, says Jason Castro. And it's 8-4 Houston.
As promised earlier in the game, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game. Let's see what it is tonight. Well, how about that? I recognize that from earlier in the game. Very nicely done. Make sure to tweet us your photos at #CSNHFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by AT&T. Look at Springer go.
Great photo. Terrific catch. Very memorable. And Springer went into the center field wall to Rob Rios in the 3rd inning. At the time, the Astros trail 4-3. Neil Kotz coming in now in the 8th inning, and he'll be facing Chris Carter. Kotz is 2-5 with a 3.65 ERA. Springer's home run was number 100 of the season for the Astros. By the way, they've hit 2 tonight. Robbie Grossman hit 1 earlier. It's the 4th time in franchise history. And Carter takes ball 1. Dallas Keuchel in 6 2/3 innings, allowed 8 hits, 4 runs. Walk 1, fan 3. We have the Red Sox rotation for the weekend. John Lackey, Jake Peavy, Clay Buchholz. The Red Sox. Jake Peavy will be with an asterisk. I'm not sure if he'll be a Red Sox by then. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2-1 now to Carter.
Are they still packing in Fenway?
I believe so.
They had that huge streak stopped last year.
Yeah.
Intriguing that it stopped on the year they won the World Series.
So where do we stand on the Sweet Caroline issue now?
Well, I thought it was still the 8th inning. Is it not?
Okay.
Have they changed?
Well, didn't we have that at Minute Maid Park a few years ago when they came in?
Maybe so, yeah.
Line shot to left field. That's in for a hit for Carter. Carter is 2 for 4. Not sure where that stands. So.
I really like what we're seeing from Chris Carter.
Yes.
And this is a little bit of a cutoff swing, a pitch in on the inside corner, but just cuts it off beautifully. Nice and quick through the zone. Working with Jose Altuve, maybe.
Carlos Corcoran has a pair of doubles and 2 runs batted in tonight, and now batting for the first time right-handed tonight. And he did this a few games ago. I think it was against Detroit. He had hits from both sides of the plate, and he said, if I'm facing a right-hander that night, I'm a left-handed hitter. Even if they bring in lefty from the bullpen, I still think of myself as a left-handed hitter in that game. That's his mindset for preparation. 1 ball, 1 strike. How about you? You were a switch hitter.
Well, I took it beyond that. I was a left-hand hitter at all times. It was a challenge for me to take it from the right side. Well, it was a challenge anytime, but the tougher challenge.
Amanda Rykoff says no Sweet Caroline this weekend.
No?
I think that was a mistake a few years ago, actually. They do that at Fenway. They can do that there. 2 balls and a strike. Dallas Keuchel in 6 2/3 innings, allowed 8 hits, 4 runs, walked 1, fanned 3. Threw 109 pitches, 71 were strikes. Carlos let the bat go. Took a big rip. Now he'll take a little walk. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Neil Kotz has 5 blown saves. That is tied for the most in the American League this season. Well-traveled lefty who pitched against the Astros for the White Sox in the 05 World Series. He won a game in that series. Pitched in all 4 games. He gets a strikeout and the throw to first. Not in time as Carter went back in head first. 1 out.
Nice quick snap throw from Jimenez.
It was a good throw.
Watch how quickly Jimenez gets rid of this baseball. Didn't even take that left foot and step toward first. Just fired from that squared up position.
Now we have a balk called on Kotz. That gets Carter to second.
Speed of Carter is going to intimidate a lot of pitchers.
Did you see what caused the balk call?
No, I did not. I glanced away from the field at the wrong moment.
You had some company on that issue, pal.
Bob Davidson's not here.
Hernandez, who had the RBI triple in the second inning rather, is 1 for 3. And Neil Kotz came in game 1 of that World Series against the Astros in 05 with a 4-3 lead. Struck out Morgan Ensberg and Mike Lamb. In game 2, he was the winning pitcher. He retired Mike Lamb again. Game 4, he got a hold. He retired Jose Vizcaíno with a man on third. So he really came through in the clutch at that point. Now 33 years old. And that's ball 3 to Kike Hernandez. Marwin Gonzalez is on deck. Kotz last year had a 1.11 ERA for the Rangers. He pitched 58 times. Struck out 65 in 57 innings. He could be a commodity for some contending club. 3-1.
Doesn't throw quite as hard as he once did, but those left arms are quite valuable.
Aren't they though? More contending clubs think about situational lefties this time of year. Boy, if we could just add one of those to our bullpen, it would really help.
Sometimes it comes down to, can this guy help us win one game that might be the difference to getting in the postseason and not?
Exactly right. Kike takes the walk. Jimenez out. And now runners at first and second, 1 down for Marwin Gonzalez. He's 0 for 3. Darvish threw 109 pitches tonight. 78 were strikes. It's a tough night to pitch with the extreme heat here in Arlington, Texas. It's in tight for ball 1. Amazing that Nolan Ryan, well up into his mid-40s, was able to handle the heat here.
He excelled here. 2 of his 7 no-hitters came here, or came with the Texas Rangers.
Bouncer, and Andrews gets it back to second. Odor on to first. That was flashy. 6-4-3 double play. No runs, a hit, and a man left. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning with the score 8-4 Astros. series over the Texas Rangers. Let's see what's been happening with other clubs in the Houston system. Minor league news showing you Alex White starting tonight in Oklahoma City and allowing 2 earned runs in 3 innings. That's his first start since September 2012. He's rebounding from surgery. Tony Kemp, the Texas League Player of the Week in 12 games with Corpus. A .380 average, a .448 on base percentage after being promoted from Single-A Lancaster. Now, bottom of the 8th inning brings up Alex Rios. Rios is 1 for 3. Jose Veras came in to get the final out in the 7th inning on a ground ball by Elvis Andrus. Breaking pitch for strike 1 last night. Oklahoma City won 6-5 over New Orleans. Jake Buchanan got his 7th win, giving up 4 earned runs in 6 innings. It's 1-1. Damry Vasquez drove in 3 more runs for Lancaster last night. Jethawks lost 14-8 though. Conrad Gregor hit his 7th homer. He's really ripping the ball at Lancaster. In the air outside the right field line, back into the seats. 1-2. We haven't seen our old pal Rob Medwick on this trip. Huh?
You know what? I think I just saw his back going down the hallway behind us.
Did you say hello to his back?
Well, you know, I missed the opportunity apparently.
Okay.
But Rob looked to be in fine shape.
That's good.
At least the posterior portion.
He's running the stadium here. Has been for many years. One of the top executives of the Rangers. Fly ball out to shallow center field. Altuve's underneath it. 1 out. Rob has been with the Astros for many years, and he's the media relations chief.
Stay tuned for Astros postgame live, presented by Jack in the Box.
See, Layla Rahimi and Art Howe are at the desk tonight.
It's a big league team.
It is. Adrian Beltre, he wants time now. Okay, now we're ready to go. He's 1 for 3. He just hasn't been ready tonight. And he's ball 1.
Looks like Beltre might be having a little fun. I doubt it's with Bill Miller. I have a feeling with Carlos Corcoran.
Yeah, I don't think he and Bill are going to be going out for a late night snack. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And I think reflecting back to that questionable at bat, if you will, for Beltre, as he struck out in the 3rd inning, I thought Bill Miller was completely in the right in his decision.
I would like to see umpires do that more often.
I would too.
Keep the game moving along.
You get pitchers started toward the plate, and all of a sudden timeout comes.
It's chopped to 3rd. Dominguez cannot make the barehanded play, and Beltre reaches. That'll be his 2nd hit of the night.
Ball kicks to the bare hand side. This bounce right here kicks to the right if you're looking at it from the position of Matt Dominguez, and I think that left him with the only option being the bare hand. Generally, he'll take it glove and hand and get rid of the ball very quickly.
Jake Smolinski comes up. He's had a big night, 3 for 3. He's hitting .556, Ash.
Yeah, I can't even relate. So I've got nothing for you there.
He needs to be called up.
Tom Wiedenbauer might have a comment for you.
There's strike 1 from Jose Veras. That note on the Astros hitting 100 homers disappeared from the computer screen when we were right in the middle of it. They've hit 100 homers. This is their 93rd game of the year. So that's the first time they've done that prior to the All-Star break since '03. They hit 108 in 94 games that year.
Did I yank that from you a little prematurely?
Your phone went off.
Uh-oh.
1-1. It happens.
I guess it does.
It's only the 4th time in club history the Astros have hit 100 homers prior to the All-Star break.
Good stuff.
They did it in 2000, of course. That was the monstrous home run year. They did it in 01. They did it in 03.
Welcome George Springer, and welcome back Carter.
Ground ball third. Dominguez can't make that play. He does regroup, but safe at first. He got a tough hop. And this late in the game, the way that sun bakes the infield, it's going to be a rocket type hop. So it's first and second with one out.
Jake Smolinski runs well. You kick it down at third base, you'll get a lot of guys as you pick the ball back up, but not Smolinski. And it makes me wonder if there was any real shot at the double play. Generally, this ground ball, if handled cleanly, gets a double play.
7th error of the year for Dominguez. Second error for Houston tonight. The catcher's interference last inning counts as an error. Now it's Jimenez. Jimenez is 1 for 3. Fouls at strike one. A note about defensive play, though. You know, we can come up with all kinds of excuses, which you don't want to hear. But and you know, certainly major league fields are vastly superior to minor league stadiums in terms of infield surface, and players will speak to that from time to time. But nonetheless, you've got a situation here. It's been a rather lengthy game. And that's a tough hop on a very hard field, which is kind of chewed up. A lot of marks out there. There's been a lot of base running around that area. So it's going to happen from time to time.
And watch what third basemen deal with. It's that in-between hop on the second bounce. Really tough.
Aaron Downs warming up in the pen.
That come across as an excuse?
Well,
maybe.
Here's the thing. People don't want to hear excuses, right? But if you play the game and you're down there, as you were, and you're looking at that dirt all the time in front of you, right, playing third, and you're saying, I don't know if I'm always going to get a good hop tonight at this stage of the game. And that's what he didn't do. He didn't get a good hop.
Something about the nature of the ground balls to third base says you're going to get a load of those in-between hoppers if you play at that double play depth.
Yeah.
If you play in, you can take it away.
Good point. Struck him out looking. 2 outs.
Jimenez doesn't like the call on this slider, but up at the front of the plate, I would contend that's got a great shot of being white on white.
Rougned Odor is 0 for 2 with a walk. And another note, too, we hold major league players to a very high standard defensively, right? We being fans.
True. Yeah.
We just think that if a ball hits a guy's glove, it's got to be caught.
I think the players feel that way. I mean, when you get to talking to the players, especially the good ones, they'll tell you, I've got to make that play.
Ball one. Two men on. The Rangers down by 4. There's some action in the Astros bullpen right now. You saw the shot of lefty Darren Downs.
Those were some don't even think about it eyes.
That's in for a strike. 1-1.
Good changeup on the 1-0.
It was. We don't see a lot of that from him, do we?
No, not a whole lot. And Veras will get himself in situations where the command will get away. And that changeup, if he can throw it for a strike, how valuable would that be?
Oddly, I think his fastball is the pitch he commands the least.
I agree entirely. And that's what he generally comes in out of the pen throwing, and he'll fall behind so many times last year, 3-0, and have to find a way to try to work back into it. A lot of times that first man would be a walk. And it's been one of the big issues, I think, for Veras, maybe not only in an Astros uniform.
Breaking ball is almost automatic for him to throw in the strike zone and get a swing. That's a foul fly, out of play. 2-2. Last night, Bo Porter used 5 relievers: Downs, Zide, Sip, Fields, and Qualls. Barris pitched 1 inning Monday night, so it figured that he would be available for this game. We're guessing Fields is not available tonight. We're guessing Sip is not available tonight, but we don't know. We never know that. Slowly hit. Altuve moving into his right, and he throws on to first and gets him with a good play. No runs, a hit, an error. 2 men left. We move to the 9th inning. The Astros are up 8-4. Minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. The Astros come up in the 9th inning. 31,161 the paid attendance. Beautiful shot there of this ballpark with the Astros leading at 8-4. At Globe Life Park, it is right-hander Scott Baker coming in 13 games. He's 0-2 with a 5.96 ERA.
Nice 1.2 whip. Giving up right on a hit an inning. Not walking many. Managers delight that guy who comes in from the pen and doesn't provide a bunch of free passes.
He's been a starting pitcher with good command. And he pitched for years for the Minnesota Twins. Had some really good seasons. 200 innings 1 year. In double figures in wins in some of those seasons with the Twins. Has had Tommy John surgery and has also stayed in a hotel. Jose Altuve with ball 1.
That's part of the requirement, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Not the hotel part.
She had Qualls warming up. Altuve has led off. This is the 4th inning. He's led off. He pumps one near the right field line. Rosales back. And inside number 1. They're 1 for 5 tonight. Day off coming tomorrow. These guys who have been grinding it will welcome that. Chad Qualls is getting loose, and in the bottom of the 9th, it'll be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters for the Rangers.
Jose Altuve will drive himself crazy after a 1 for 5 game.
Yeah. Here's a guy who's got a chance to be 5 for 5.
Got a chance for the cycle.
Robbie Grossman, 4 for 4, a homer, a double, 2 singles, 2 runs batted in. Is ball 1. So you're saying if he hits the ball in the gap, just keep running.
I suggest you do that. You have to size it up. You got a 4-run lead. We're down to the 9th inning. Absolutely. Hit a ground ball in the infield and you beat it out. Turn it first and see if you can get something to happen.
1-1 the count.
Well, as rough as things have gone for Robbie, he's got to be a piece of heaven right now.
1-2. This sport can be so hard to play sometimes. Struck him out. 2 outs.
4 for 5 looks really good in the box score, Robbie.
800. He hit 800 tonight, Ash.
That'll work in a pinch.
George Springer is 2 for 4 tonight. Made a sensational catch back in the 3rd on Rios, slamming into the center field wall. Hit a 2-run homer to right field in the 7th. Probably saved a choking baby in between innings. There's strike 1.
Don't doubt it. You know, I was just thinking about Robbie Grossman. It wouldn't hurt him to hang around Altuve and just kind of learn that grind it out mentality of one more at bat, one more hit every night.
Shortstop Andrus gets Springer. They go to the bottom of the 9th inning, 8-4 Houston.
The 9th. Can you beat the best? Join millions of players now on the only official Home Run Derby mobile game from MLB.com. Square off against your friends from around the world live in multiplayer derby mode and climb to the top of the leaderboards. Download today for free on the Apple App Store and Google Play. Speaking of Home Run Derby, yeah, that guy with his 19th tonight. What do we have to do to get this guy in the Home Run Derby?
We have to vote hashtag George Springer. No, we can't. We can't vote for that, can we, Julia? When do we find out, Julia?
I don't know. That's a great question. It's got to be soon. I would think maybe the time we find out who gets the final vote.
Chad Qualls is 1-1. His ERA 2.05. Julia's going to be very happy to be back at Minute Maid Park Friday night, where she can hear and concentrate.
She'll have no shot at a boomstick, though.
No. Lobster rolls.
Oh, that's right.
Well, Qualls in with the 4-run lead. And Leonis Martin is a pinch hitter here for Adam Rosales, taking strike 1.
Is it your understanding we're going to get treated to some lobster rolls?
It is going to happen.
Oh, wow.
274, 5 homers, 27 runs batted in for Martin. Grounded, and Altuve spears it to his right, sets up and throws. 1 out.
Beautiful job. Get accustomed to watching a lot of infielders on this play. Just keep running and try to make that spectacular looking play on the run. Altuve chopped the steps, able to settle that right leg down and make the play routinely. This is what you want to see.
Well done. Now another pinch hitter, Carlos Pena, the former Astro, comes up, batting for Dan Robertson. Pena started the first 2 games of this series. He has not found success so far with the Rangers. Had 2 hits Monday night, but 0 for 4 last night. Has a low batting average as he tries to take hold as their first baseman. Bounces that one to Singleton, and it's out number 2. Now 1 out away from a sweep of this 3-game series, and Dallas Keuchel becoming a 9-game winner. Walls will face the leadoff man, HOU. The only other time the Astros swept a 3-game series from the Texas Rangers, way back there, about 10 years ago. Seems like longer than that. HOU is 0 for 3 with a sac fly. It was back in 03 at Arlington.
It had been 8 years since winning a series here against the Rangers.
It's crazy, isn't it? Right. And with the thought of Yu Darvish coming out, a lot of people might have thought that the Rangers would be able to stop that. But it's baseball. It's unpredictable.
I've got a line for you, but I'm going to hold it back.
Okay. Well, the Astros have banged out 13 hits tonight. So in this 3-game series, they have been in double figures in hits in all 3. They've scored 28 runs in the 3 games. They have 42 hits. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Good hitting yard, no question about it. But when you get that many hits, something has turned, and maybe it's the worm. I'm not really sure what really gets turned at that point, but you hope that you can start maintaining that kind of form a bit.
This would be a 5th straight win for the Astros against the Rangers, but it'll have to wait. There's a hit through the left side. HOU poked it to the right of Marwin Gonzalez. He's aboard for Elvis Andrus.
Sometimes that shift will find some balls, and sometimes ball will find the hole.
Jose Veras worked an inning and a third. He gave up 1 hit, no runs, had no walks, and 1 strikeout. Elvis Andrus 0 for 4. There is strike 1. The Astros hoping that Elvis leaves the building very soon. And they're on their way back to Houston for the off day tomorrow. But Elvis will be back in the building tomorrow night with the Angels coming in.
Look what the Astros have done defensively. They brought John Singleton up within a step or so of the runner at first base instead of letting the runner take off and go.
Line drive to left. Andrus with a hit. HOU to second base. And Rios will come up.
And I've said many times, that's all you have to do defensively is just bring the first baseman up in close, and you take away that running game. Sometimes you maintain the double play possibility here with 2 outs. You're just trying to help your pitcher out a bit too, I think.
Adrian Beltre's in the on-deck circle. He would represent the potential tying run if Rios can get on. Rios is 1 for 4. George Springer made one of the best catches of the year to rob him. His second time up in the 3rd inning. That's ball 1. Strike for Chad Qualls. That makes it 1-1. Scott Feldman goes against the Red Sox Friday night at 7:10. Astros pregame live comes your way at 6:30 Friday night before game 1 of this 3-game historic series.
Yeah, Brownie, it's kind of one of those stretches where you can take advantage of clubs that are struggling. The Astros are trying to pull the sweep here against a struggling Rangers club, and the Red Sox come in. They have been miserable and just keep laying it on them.
Astros want to make them even more miserable.
Said it last night. Never feel sorry for the opposition. Just keep going and getting it.
Swing and a miss for Qualls, and that will do it. The Astros sweep the Texas Rangers in a 3-game series, and that has to feel awfully good after they were swept in a 4-game series in Anaheim. It ends with a strikeout of Rios, and it's a 9-game winner. Dallas Keuchel ready to celebrate tonight. Second ever 3-game sweep of Texas by George Springer and the Astros in come from behind fashion. The final score is Houston 8, Texas 4.